I'm Fagan Harris. I'm the president and CEO of Baltimore Corps.
Really, Baltimore Corps is 100% aligned and shares an affinity with the service movement writ large. What we do at Baltimore Corps is we work from the premise that, okay, if the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps really tapped into a desire and an impulse to do something meaningful for a period of time, what then would it look like to help young people invest their careers around something meaningful? And then what would it look like to align that to the larger interest of a place, so that the workforce, this purpose-driven, mission-driven workforce, is not just moving the ball down the field for a period of time, but they're sustaining that over decades, and they're working together, and they're digging in and doing the hard work to really move the needle on challenges like addiction, or challenges on education and opportunity, or challenges like jobs in the workforce. And so Baltimore Corps very much stands on the shoulder of giants in that way, but it's separate and distinct in that it's a pretty urgent solution for the workforce system that's oriented around full-time career opportunities in public service and social change. When we started, we set out to build a fellowship program where we would attract the most talented, dynamic, committed leaders to go work in high-impact assignments across city government, the nonprofit sector, and social entrepreneurship. That initial cohort was 10 fellows. Today, that fellowship cohort is between 40 and 50, but the organization itself is now doing that work on a continual basis, and we do that through our initiative called Place for Purpose. And in that way, we're really growing our programmatic footprint. We're living up to that promise of Baltimore Corps serving as the front door to public service and social entrepreneurship careers here in Baltimore City. To complement that, we've really put a stake down in the ground here in West Baltimore, where we're anchored, that we're making a commitment to fulfilling equity and entrepreneurship. That not only do we want to recruit and deploy an enormous array of talent to the opportunities and institutions that are out there today, but we want to dig in and work with next generation social entrepreneurs, especially social entrepreneurs of color, to really rebuild Main Street here in our communities on the West Side. You know, there's a quote by a social entrepreneur based out of New York, a man named Glenn Martin, that I just love. He says, people closest to the problem are closest to the solution. And that's very much the spirit of the work we're doing with social entrepreneurs here in West Baltimore, is that there's so much genius, there's so much talent in this zip codes and others like it. What does it look like for us to tap into that and to set a time horizon of 10 and 20 years and really grow the next generation of institutions that'll hire Baltimore Corps fellows and staff and community for years to come. 24 Baltimore Corps fellows deployed at the health department have played really critical and instrumental leadership roles there to really tackle the violence that occurs throughout many of our communities. This is the work of rolling out naloxone to tackle the addiction crisis that the city is currently confronting. This is the work when we were experiencing the unrest and a lot of basic health care and services were interrupted and disrupted, making sure that the elderly received prescription drugs, that people got the support that they needed. What's particularly inspiring is that the health department shares our value of building future leaders. So not only are they doing that really important work today, many of them I have no doubt are going to go on to become health commissioners and leaders in public health across our city for years to come.